Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Om J. LAKHANI. I am a consultant endocrinologist working at Zydus Hospital in Ahmedabad. And today we are going to discuss about hypothyroidism, the perils, the pitfalls. We'll understand everything about the basics of hypothyroidism. So hypothyroidism is basically an underactive thyroid. So that is what we are going to discuss in more detail. Now, before we begin, let me first tell you that what an endocrinologist actually is. So, an endocrinologist is basically a super specialist who deals with diseases like diabetes mellitus, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, adrenal disorders, diseases of the bones like osteoporosis, diseases of the pituitary gland. Right? So these are the various conditions that an endocrinologist generally deals with. So today our focus is going to be on hypothyroidism, that is underactive thyroid, and that is one of the most common form of endocrine disorder that we see in clinical practice. So what is hypothyroidism? Now basically in your neck you have a gland which is called the thyroid gland. Now, the thyroid gland is extremely important for the human body. It is very important for carrying out the metabolic functions of the human body. So what is metabolism basically? So metabolism is a process by which your body, actually the engine of the body really functions. For example, if it's like a car, right? In a car, the metabolism of the car is that fuel goes in, then fuel is converted to energy, energy drives the car. Same way, the metabolism of the human body is basically you have the fuel, that is the food coming in, you digest the food, you convert it to energy, then this energy goes and dissipates in the various parts of the body, and then your body functions. So that is basically the metabolism. So the thyroid gland is the master gland that controls the rate of metabolism. So it's like, the accelerator that you have on your car. So when you press the accelerator hard, your car moves faster. When you slow down the accelerator, it moves slower. Same way, when you have more thyroid hormone, your metabolism becomes faster. When you have less thyroid hormone, your metabolism becomes slower. So basically, hypothyroidism is when you have less amount of thyroid hormone which is produced by the thyroid gland. And because you have less thyroid hormone produced by the thyroid gland, you have a slower metabolism. And because of the slower metabolism, so it is like your cars, instead of the accelerator which you have pushed, the accelerator is pulled back and your car moves slow. So that is what typically happens in a hypothyroid person. The entire body's metabolism becomes slow. So because of that, the person also looks slow in movement. They walk slowly, they talk slowly in more severe cases. But because of the slow metabolism, they start gaining weight, they start having loss of hair. So all these things are some telltale signs of hypothyroidism. So what leads to hypothyroidism? Now, there are two main causes of hypothyroidism worldwide. One is iodine deficiency. Now, at one point of time, iodine deficiency was the most common cause of hypothyroidism in India. In fact, iodine deficiency was so common in India that almost every family had some member of the family having iodine deficiency. It was very, very common. It was especially more common in the hilly areas of our country, like the Uttarakhand region, Himachal region, the northeast areas. These areas you had more severe iodine deficiency. And because of this iodine deficiency, people developed hypothyroidism. Now, why does iodine deficiency lead to hypothyroidism? It is very simple. The thyroid hormone, one of the ingredients of the thyroid hormone is iodine. But that changed after the Universal Salt Iodination program. This program was started by the government of India. And because of that, every salt, that is all the salt that is now produced and distributed in our country, is an iodized salt. It contains iodine. Now I see a lot of people take non-iodized salt for whatever reasons they do it. It's a very bad practice. Every Indian should take iodized salt. And in fact, selling any salt which is not iodized in our country is illegal. And anybody caught either selling or consuming non-iodized salt, it could be a punishable offense. So because of this iodized salt and universal salt iodination, the entire country, the salt was iodized, and because of the salt being iodized, the iodine deficiency did not completely go away, but it reduced to a lot of extent. And because of this, the hypothyroidism because of iodine deficiency reduced in our population. On the other hand, the other common cause of hypothyroidism, which is now the most common cause of hypothyroidism in India, is autoimmune. So the most cases of hypothyroidism that we see in today's practice is what is known as Hashimoto's thyroiditis or Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. Now, Hashimoto was a Japanese scientist who first discovered the concept of hypothyroidism produced by autoimmune disease. So what is autoimmune disease? Autoimmune disease is when the body reacts to its own self. Autoimmune. So there is immune reaction against the body's own self. That is autoimmune disease. So hypothyroidism is the most common form of autoimmune disease worldwide. And in fact, the most common cause of hypothyroidism worldwide right now also continues to be autoimmune disease. In India also, autoimmune disease is a very common cause of hypothyroidism. Apart from that, of course, if somebody undergoes a thyroid surgery, the thyroid gland is removed, that will also lead to hypothyroidism. Somebody undergoes, so a lot of people who have head and neck cancer and who undergo radiotherapy for head and neck cancer, because of this radiotherapy also they can develop hypothyroidism. So these are all common reasons why you develop hypothyroidism. So when do you suspect hypothyroidism? In what persons should you suspect hypothyroidism? Now, hypothyroidism, contrary to what people generally believe, can occur at any age. So it can also happen, hypothyroidism can occur in newborn children, and it can also occur in older individuals. So it can occur in very old people also. So there is no age for hypothyroidism. Of course, the cause of hypothyroidism at different ages is different. So right from, if you see a newborn child, the most common cause of hypothyroidism in a newborn child is what is known as congenital hypothyroidism. Congenital hypothyroidism means the child is born without a functional thyroid gland. So that is congenital hypothyroidism. Now this is very important to detect early on, because when a child has congenital hypothyroidism, see, the brain development for the first 3 years of life is extremely dependent on the thyroid hormone. So your neuronal development, the neurological development, the brain development is extremely dependent on the child's thyroid hormone. So if the child has congenital hypothyroidism and the child does not have any thyroid hormone in the body, the child may survive, but the brain development doesn't take place, and that leads to mental retardation. In fact, congenital hypothyroidism is one of the most important causes of preventable mental retardation in the world. So because of this, pediatricians and most experts around the world recommend that every child, when the child is born, you should screen the child for congenital hypothyroidism. 1 in 3,000 children in India have congenital hypothyroidism. And this screening test is a very simple test. It takes a small amount of blood which is taken from the child, and this is generally done between 48 to 72 hours of the birth. So it is generally done after 48 hours of the childbirth. So there is 2 days after the childbirth to 72 hours of the child, right? So that is generally the time when we take this blood sample. And if the child is found to have hypothyroidism, the treatment is started as early as possible, without wasting too much time, because the child's, like I said, the mental development takes place because of the thyroid gland, and generally the first 3 years of the life are the most crucial for the development of the same. Now, as the age advances, the causes of hypothyroidism are generally different. In younger individuals, again, you have iodine deficiency, which is an important cause, but the most common cause, of course, continues to be autoimmune disease. And of course, in elderly population also, autoimmune disease would be an important cause of hypothyroidism. So hypothyroidism can occur at any age. Now, when should you suspect it? If there is a child who has slow mental development, right, who has not undergone a screening for congenital hypothyroidism. So if the child is not gaining height, he is gaining excess weight, the child's growth is very slow, the child's mental development is very slow, such children you should suspect hypothyroidism. In adults, where will you suspect hypothyroidism? So you'll have unusual weight gain. You'll have the person, appearing puffy, right? So you'll have swelling across the eyes. The face would be swollen. The gland may be swollen, the thyroid gland, which is known as goiter. So you might have a goiter. You might have slowness of movement. You might have swelling in the feet, right? So these are all some telltale signs of hypothyroidism. There will be loss of hair. And not only is the hair loss from the head, but also hair from the eyebrows are also lost. So this is a very characteristic of hypothyroidism. So how do you diagnose hypothyroidism? It's very easy to diagnose. Hypothyroidism is a very simple disease to diagnose. You require just a blood test, which is known as a thyroid function test. Generally, if you don't want to spend too much money, this one simple test you have to do is TSH. Right? So it's one TSH, very simple test. It's done in almost every laboratory in the country. Now remember, if the TSH is high, it generally suggests hypothyroidism, and the TSH is low, it generally suggests hyperthyroidism in a lot of cases. There are of course a lot of exceptions to this. Now if the TSH is abnormal, we generally also ask for T3 and T4, and generally in hypothyroidism we expect the T3 and T4 to be low. So you generally have high TSH and low T3 and low T4. So these are the general pattern of thyroid function. So it's very easy to diagnose hypothyroidism, and most of the labs now offer this test either alone or as a part of package, and it's very easy to do the test. Very simple. You can easily get this test done in most labs in the country. So one common issue a lot of the times which patients don't understand, there are two major things. One is subclinical hypothyroidism, another is overt hypothyroidism. Subclinical hypothyroidism, we can also call it as a mild hypothyroidism or early hypothyroidism. So subclinical hypothyroidism is a condition where the TSH is elevated, the TSH is high, but the T3, T4 are still normal. So that's a subclinical hypothyroidism. That means that the patient has mild and early thyroid problem, but it's not, the symptoms may not be there at that point of time. Whereas overt hypothyroidism, when the TSH is very high, generally it's in the range more than 20, right? So TSH is 20, 22, 23, 100, right? So TSH is very high, and the T3, T4 are also low. In that scenario, that is known as overt hypothyroidism, and that is when the symptoms are also very apparent. The patient will have clinical features of hypothyroidism. Okay, let's come to the treatment of hypothyroidism. Now, amongst all the endocrine diseases, the disease which is most simplest, most elegant, most effective treatment is the treatment for hypothyroidism. It's so simple to treat hypothyroidism. The problem is, sometimes when things are very simple, people make it unnecessarily complicated. It's a very simple disease to treat. The thyroid hormone which is produced in our own body, we have two types of thyroid hormone which are produced. One is T4, and this T4 is then converted to T3. So T4 is a pro-hormone. It's called a pro-hormone that is converted to T3 in the body. And this T3 is the thyroid hormone that acts in the system. Some amount of T3 is already produced by the thyroid gland also. So how do you treat this? When the thyroid gland is not producing enough hormone, what do? We give from outside. So what do? We give levothyroxine. Levothyroxine is basically T4, right? So the same hormone which is produced by your thyroid gland, exactly the same composition is given from outside in a tablet form, and this is levothyroxine. This is the standard treatment. Levothyroxine is the generic name. I cannot tell you brand names, but I'm sure your doctor is well aware. So levothyroxine is the medicine which is used for treatment of hypothyroidism. It is the best and the only treatment you ever need if you have hypothyroidism. You don't need any complicated therapies. You don't need any 100 medications, no, just one simple medicine. The only thing is, this medicine has to be taken early morning before breakfast, and you have to have at least 1 hour of gap between taking your medicine and anything you eat in the morning. So it could be, even if your cup of tea or cup of coffee that you have in the morning, that gap has to be 1 hour. That is very important for people to understand. So a lot of people come and ask us, can I take Ayurvedic or Homeopathic treatment for hypothyroidism? Absolutely not. I am extremely against any such alternative therapy for hypothyroidism. There is no alternative therapy for hypothyroidism. The best solution, you already have the best treatment available, right? Exactly the hormone that is deficient in your body, the same hormone is given from outside. Why do you want to take any other treatment? You have the perfect, it's like you have a jigsaw puzzle, one piece exactly fits into the other piece. Why do you want to look for any other piece? That is what is the modern treatment for hypothyroidism. And because of this, a lot of people see, sometimes, a lot of this alternative medicine people claim that, we'll do this and we'll do that. The problem is, some patients do not actually have very mild hypothyroidism which reverses on its own, or we do not require any treatment. And then they take this alternative medicines and they feel they become better, they feel that they become better, and then they say that it works. Actually, it doesn't work. The problem is that these were patients who ideally should not have been treated at all with anything. So they say that the broken clock also gives the correct time twice a day. So if your clock is stuck at 10, right, at 10 a.m. in the morning and 10 p.m. in the night, it will give you the right time. That's how alternative medications work for hypothyroidism. So sometimes by tukke se, things work, but in most cases, if you really have serious hypothyroidism, you don't need any other alternative therapy. One simple medicine will change your life completely. You don't need to take anything else. Of course, this medicine has to be taken lifelong. That's taken, and it has to be taken religiously, and if you take it regularly, you will live a comfortable, good, happy, normal life. So how does one take a thyroid medicine? We already discussed this. That thyroid medicine is one simple tablet you have to take in the morning. It has to be taken at least 1 hour before your breakfast. What can you expect after taking thyroid medications? The first thing you expect, you feel better, you feel more energetic, you will feel less tired, you will feel like your activity will improve, your thinking will become faster, you will feel more relaxed, you will feel better, and over a short to medium period of time, you will lose a little weight. The swelling which you have from the body will go away. You might initially experience a little bit of more hair loss. Right? A lot of people come and say that hair loss बढ़ गया. That's true, because what happens is, hair has a cycle. So all the unhealthy hair which was formed, so the hair also requires thyroid hormone for its production. That is also one of the components which helps the growth. Remember, thyroid controls all the metabolism of the body, skin, hair, everything, right? So the metabolism of the hair is also affected by the thyroid hormone. So if you have hypothyroidism, hair is formed, but the hair which is formed is generally of less amount, and it's lower in its growth, and because of that, it's an unhealthy hair. So when you take a thyroid hormone, the hair generally sheds off. So this is what happens. So initially you might experience a little bit of more hair loss, but eventually, if your thyroid becomes normal over a long period of time, your thyroid hair loss becomes less, and eventually you tend to have more healthy hair. So yes, hypothyroidism does help in hair. We have, if you follow me on Twitter, we have shared some pictures of children with alopecia areata, which is a severe form of hair loss in children, and they were diagnosed to have hypothyroidism, and after correction of hypothyroidism, the hair completely grew back. So that's the magic of hypothyroidism. So hypothyroidism treatment. So that's how you generally do it. Another question which people often ask us is, how long should the medicine be taken? Like I said, remember, the gland is not producing the hormone, so you'll have to replace it from outside. And like I said, it's like a supplement. It has to be taken lifelong, right? So that's the importance of taking thyroid medicine. It should be taken. It's one simple tablet, and as long as you take it, you live a healthy, normal life. Okay. A lot of people come and ask us is that, this is the other way. There's a lot of people who think that they have hypothyroidism, but the thyroid test is normal. So a lot of people ask us, is my thyroid function is normal, can I still have hypothyroidism? Sometimes what happens is, if the TSH may be normal but T3, T4 may be low, that happens in a situation called central hypothyroidism, where the thyroid hormone, the production is deficient from the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is the master gland which controls all the hormones of the body. So sometimes if the people have low TSH but they have symptoms of hypothyroidism, normal TSH but they have symptoms of hypothyroidism, we often check the T3 and T4, and sometimes we find T3, T4 to be low, and then we diagnose this patient as having central hypothyroidism. So yes, that is possible. But if your T3, T4 is normal, your TSH is also normal, then you don't have hypothyroidism. Sometimes people suffer from depression, people suffer from anxiety, people suffer from exogenous obesity, general weight gain. All these conditions, they are often mistaken to be hypothyroid, but they are not. So I think it is the best to leave it to your doctor to make the correct diagnosis and then provide you the best treatment. Okay. So I think we covered a lot of points today about hypothyroidism or underactive thyroid, and I hope it was useful to you. And if you want to know more about it, keep following this page. You can follow me on Twitter, and you can follow me on Facebook as well. And we keep posting useful information about thyroid. We have a YouTube page also called Endocrinology India, so you can search for that, Endocrinology India, on YouTube, and you'll be able to find it. So you can follow us and you can get more information. And my website is www.dromlakhani.com. You can visit us on our website also to get more information about the same. So thank you for a patient listening. I hope it was useful.